Yes. Now, as you're building a platform, you've got the YouTube channel going on, you've got
Mm,
books that are coming out, you play basketball, and then you start getting in the speaking realm and having the opportunity to speak. And you've done multiple TEDx talks. So talk a little bit about, what the backing or the thought process was behind getting into the TEDx space and talk about, doing, professional speaking and which you do large scale now,
mm.
and some of the messages that you like to deliver there.
Great question. So when it came to TEDx, I got to go back to Tim Ferriss. So I
Yeah.
used to listen to Tim's podcast all the time. And I still listen to his podcast. And back in maybe 2014, actually exactly 2014, I'm listening to his show. He was interviewing this guy named Derek Sivers. You ever heard of Derek Sivers?
Uh-uh.
Okay, so Derek Sivers is an author. He's written a few books and he's done
Yeah.
a couple TEDx talks himself. And Tim's interviews are like 2-3 hours long.
Yeah, right.
Right. So I listened to the whole interview, and at the end of the interview, because I liked the interview with Derek, and Tim said, "Well, how can people find out more about you?" Normal questions. And Derek says, "Well, people can email me." And Tim says, "Wait a minute, you might not want to say that, right? Because I got so many listeners. If you give your email address, you're gonna get a ton of email." And
Yeah.
Derek said, "No, it's okay. I actually read every single email I get, and I do actually take time to reply. I
Wow.
won't reply immediately because I'm going to get a lot, but I do reply to people's emails." So I said, "Okay, I'm going to email this guy." So I
Yeah.
emailed Derek Sivers. And I tell him who I am. And I was already a fan of Derek. I had actually read a couple of his books. I listened to some of his tests. I knew who he was before he was on Tim's podcast.